you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Continue on. You were saying, teacher. Mother.
We was we was at the point of saying that you can't trick a law. You can't bargain with a law. What we telling you is the keys to unlock the door, or how some people say they're valves.
Let me say something before you go on, because before we had to, say so long to our New York audience. It's just like people in this society of America saying you could be what you want to be. That's what you're talking. What they say in the church. Just think it, and it's yours. Just believe it. Just claim it. Yeah. That's a lie. That's the devil's work. That's the devil's language, and that's the devil's tactics, and that's the devil's seduction to fool you into thinking that you can do these things. It's just like people claiming success that the devil might give them, or you know that they may get by the forces of life that Allah allowed to be. You see, the true success is the Creator itself. That is the success. Right. Now, you're coming back into the awareness of your self-knowledge, meaning your connection with that reality of your being is success. But the devil, the jinn, wants you to think that your success is of the world. So they set forth for certain people to achieve certain things. Then they say, all you got to do is think it and believe it. But behind the scene, you cutting deals so that you can have certain things. Huh? Because I've been here for a long time thinking and wanting, being and believing that I could be something that I ain't never been. So if it don't work for me, why? Don't tell me I haven't believed it. Mm-hmm. Whatever it might be.
Right. Could take up so much of our time waiting on it.
I found that it's a trick.
Right.
It's a trick of the devil to consume the people and keep them thinking in terms of believing the trick.
Right.
When they control everything.
Right. And that's why we have such a high rate of failure with our children.
And suicide with certain races of people. Right. And self-destruction, suicide on a slow term, like drug use, alcohol use, and other types of physical abuses, self-abuse that people put on themselves, which is in actuality suicide. But on a slow basis.
Yeah. Right. And because we give this false information. See, no matter what you have dreamed up in your mind, if it's not in order with what has been written on that soul, it ain't happening. See, a lot of people don't understand, before we were sent here, there was already commands, laws, and order placed on us. So we spend a whole lifetime like a dog chasing their tail, instead of trying to go back to the source of life to find out what we're here for. You understand? And if you don't get on the path to the source of life, then you're just that dog chasing the tail.
Going in circles.
You can want all you want. Yeah. I always tell my friends, got a friend, they can get your own. And you can want until, old people say, till hell freezes over. You understand? You have to be in order. There's a order sent down, not by the government. There's an order sent down by Ahezaah for us to walk in. And if we're not in that order, all the wishing, all the things we do won't give us that which we need in this life, which is peace.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that saying, what you said, Gimme got a friend, say, what is it?
Gimme got a friend, get your own.
Get your own. I heard you tell the kids that a lot. I'm glad that out of all these years, I've always evidently asked for the right thing, because when I said give me, you always gave me.
Well, I'm your friend.
There you go. Get your own. Meet, get your own. Yes.
I'm get your own.
Yes.
I tell my children
Give
that.
me got a friend to get your own.
Holy Queen, Mother, Lord. We talking about getting in that order. Lord, I remember there was a recent show that you were talking, it was so profound. We were talking about recognizing the Lord El, the creator of all things, that force behind everything, in everything. Yeah. Recognize it in your path, recognize it in the doing. Come, get into the notion, get into the life habit of recognizing that it's real and that it's in order. We would say that's the beginning of the order. Is that the order or the essence of the order?
That's part of it. That's, a part of that self-hypnosis that we need. See, everyone needs self-hypnosis. You know how they talk about people, that person getting brainwashed. The person might need to get brainwashed. And the person might need to get hypnotized. Mm-hmm. But the main thing is you need to wash your own brain with truth. Huh? Mm-hmm. And you need self-hypnosis. You need a mantra to keep repeating to yourself and repeating to yourself and repeating to yourself and repeating to yourself until it become real to you. And you start repeating to yourself by habit, so that you will force yourself, if you're not completely guided, but you will help force yourself into whatever it is that you're trying to get into by repeating it to your mind that you want or you need to do a certain thing. Right. We need self-hypnosis. This is and spirituality goes out into the medical field. It goes beyond the medical field. Much of the medical sciences is based on spirituality. But under the Hippocratic Oath, you will not be told that. Huh? Much of the social sciences is built upon spirituality. Psychic sciences. Science is about the psychotics. But when things are twisted, then here comes the problem. When man got to throw his piece of whatever in to interfere what the divine has sent down, then we have these breakups, But in any ality of Allah, in any small part of Allah in your life, you need to seek the whole. And in spirituality, we recognize that El is the whole. El is the before anything else, the in everything, the after everything. Whatever it is the in those ways. Now, we say the because we speak in English. But we have known it by the name in other language as El and Al and what have you, which recognize the definite article of a thing, the definite item, the most important, the most essential item of whatever is, the real essential item, the real thing that's hidden maybe, from people's conscious awareness. In spirituality, that light of Christ comes on in true spirituality.
We hear the term mysticism, and I come to mind how many people of paths of religion, when they hear the term mysticism, they become frightened. They become they look to combat it. They want to combat it, or they try to get other people to become frightened of the term mysticism. So
Go ahead.
People have a tendency to want to be gods, want to be lords, want to be powerful. So they take what the Lord El has sent down from the throne of El Amen, and they try to manipulate it and put it upon themselves that they are the commanders, the masters of it. But we, the messengers, the prophets of El, we don't seek to hold mastery over its words. We don't seek to claim its words for ourselves. You see, we seek to be of its words. We submit and praise it and concern ourselves about its mercy and its guidance. But you got people that want to take these titles and these words and throw them at people who have lesser knowledge. For instance, a guy said to me, I met this guy that we both knew. So he said he was a Sufi. I said, that brother's not a Sufi. He said, well, he say he's a Sufi. How can you say he's not a Sufi? I said, because, first of all, you have to understand what a Sufi is. See, you could say you're a Muslim. Anybody and everybody can say they're Muslim, because a Muslim is that which surrenders to the Lord El. And everything surrenders to the Lord El. That's what Muslim means. But Sufi has a meaning that does not apply to that brother. You could say you're a believer and still be a liar, because you might not be a believer. You could say you're faithful, I'm faithful to Allah, and be a liar. The brother said he was a Sufi. A Sufi is one who is a master in mysticism. A Sufi is one who is a master in who is taken up by the master in belief. And when I say a master in mysticism, I mean one who is surrendered or submitted, and one who has become whole and enlightened with the master, which is El, of mysticism. Okay, so you can't just go and say you're a Sufi to bow somebody else down, because the brothers who know that practice Sufism or study Sufism know that it is the highest form of Islam and other religions. Most of the people who don't have no idea about Sufism, who've run into the jinn, who fear Sufism, they have another thought about Sufism. They think that it's the enemy of Islam, when it's the enemy of the devil, who don't want you to know that it is the highest aspect, it is the spiritual aspect, it is the life and breath and heart of the true religion of Islam, of the true religion of the Christ, the true religion that Moses received, and all the others. You see? So you can, when they talk about that and then you get bowed down, it's like, those are just words, man. You know? You have to seek to understand the spirit and reality of those words, the life and breath of those words, and what's going on inside the circumference of those practical forms of religion, and and recognize yourself as a practitioner. If I come and cut you open, man, you got a stick stuck in your stomach, and I come and I cut on you and pull that stick out and sew you up. Am I a doctor? Am I a surgeon?
No, not necessarily.
I don't think so. Yeah. I think I'm a brother who just came and cut on your stomach and pulled the stick out and sewed it up. I ain't even practicing medicine. But these guys, they read a book, they see Sufis going and zikr, people who practicing Sufism, zikkering and dancing around, they say, oh, I'm that. How you gonna be that when you just a practitioner of that? To be something like the Lord said be, and it is. It created life. Be, that life is. So if you say you are something, you must be that. You must live that. So you can't say that you a believer, or you a Sufi, or you faithful, or you a mystic, or you whatever that you practicing to be. Excuse me for raising my voice so loud, but I get excited. Life ain't all serious. It's funny too. That's why I gave that little laugh.
I was going to ask a question about, and I know the gentleman that
serious he is.
I'm here learning. I'm here learning like the rest of the audience right there. So yes, and it's a thankful thing. But I remember I know the gentleman we're talking about. I was going to ask the question by him behaving. Calling himself something that he doesn't know what he's about. Is he at fault by making other people, afraid of it? But that question was answered.
Yes, he's at fault.
Yes, he's at fault.
That's like me going and cutting your stomach open and pulling something out so bad.
That's right. A whole group of people thinking that you're a surgeon.
Yeah.
Right.
And the
thing about it is, he's exalted or elevated in evil. The devil, doer of evil. That person is a doer of evil, a servant of the devil. You know? Because if you take truth and you bend it to falsehood and then you present it as truth, what is that? And this brother is highly educated in the world system. But people get bowed by people with worldly knowledge. Me, I look at them in the face and I laugh at them.
You got issues.
I seen that on TV once. I've been wanting to do that for years.
I thought it would be a deeper voice, something like that.
Why don't you try it? It feels good.
How does that work? That Godfrey Holder look, Darth Vader.
Okay.
And, I remember when I first met you, Lord Holy-Apostle, I was counseled to come prepared with certain questions, and I spent about a month or more trying to find. I couldn't even think of any questions at the time.
Somebody counseled you?
Yeah. I was counseled to come with questions.
Let's get prepared for the Holy Apostle.
And the meeting, I couldn't even gather anything at the meeting from those couple of religious-based questions I could come up with. You know, the answers was already over my head. Yeah. It was until I threw the questions away and just said, how long have you known? We started asking them just real questions for myself, that the lessons really opened up. And that's I apprecited that experience.
And you know, one thing about...
Let me just say this here before you go, and I know that I've said this a lot of times, don't lose that thought. But like Eddie Murphy said, or not Eddie Murphy, but Jackie Chan said, all holy men could dance. You understand? What was he saying in that movie when he said, if you can't dance, you can't be a holy man? What he was talking about is that we're real. And somebody try to prepare you to come to me? How you gonna get prepared to come to me when I myself don't know how I'm gonna be presented to you? Somebody thought they knew me and try to prepare you for me when they themselves wasn't prepared, correct?
That's how it turned out.
There you go, because they lost, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you know,
Mama.
that's funny that you said that, because it made me think about a lot of people before they come to Islam. You know, I've heard over all these years is, you know, I got to get prepared. I got to read
I got to study.
And I got to study. I got to get ready.
You got to get ready for them brothers and sisters. Because they be smacking you with that dawah, man.
You got to know what you're talking about. I'm like, they don't know what they talking about. You know, I just found it to be very amusing.
The more they study, the more lost they become, the more wound up they become in something, you know, that they got to come back through. I know when the brothers and sisters come to me with dawah, I come with the tower. They come with dawah, and I come with a tower of knowledge, of wisdom. You got to. Don't get confused. Let me relate back to that. To the spirituality.
No, you know, I always say, let Ahezaah be your guide. You know, I've had many people that came and jumped in my face about stuff, and I'm telling you, they get to talking. I'm like, my mind be like, what they talking about?
You kind of get out there, right?
What? And, you know, and I wait till they finish, and I be like, well, okay. And then Ahezaah just step in. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that a little bit. And they be like, okay, have a good one. You know,
I can read, but I can't read right.
It's not about that.
I don't know what she's talking about. Did you understand what she said in the
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is that people come and they hold information so high that they never get to the essence. They never get to the spirituality of what Ahezaah presents for them, because they is holding this information, not experience. Information.
You know, you hit something very key. You hit something very key, and it's kind of like getting off. It's counterproductive to the path of spirituality. You know, and that is that information. So many people come to religion, especially Islam, with information, looking to compound information, when they only confound information. You understand? They, instead of adding information for the good, they just bring destruction to themselves, and information becomes their aim and their goal. And like Holy Queen Mother said, they missed the point. Right. They missed the point.
It made me think of a person that married us, and I'm gonna laugh because I thought it was always funny, but he said something about people putting a stack of books on the back of a donkey.
No, he said
and then putting the cart behind the donkey. No, in front of the donkey.
He said, I know
what did he say? It was funny.
He said these people put a stack of books on a cart, and they put the donkey behind the cart and get on the cart and say, "Giddy up." With the reins in their hand, the donkey in the back of the cart with the books in front of the donkey, talking about giddy up. What he was saying is they all confused.
And that's what information do. All that information, like, for what? I always tell my children, Holy Apostle always told me, when you read a book, take what's good and throw the rest away. Yeah. Take what you could use and throw it away. Why keep all that?
Right.
And that is so true. You keep up, then your mind blows. Mm-hmm. You take what you need and you go with that.
Well, the worst of the people that are collectors of information are those who believe everything they read in a book.
I know.
Just because it's in a book, they believe it.
Right.
And that's a dangerous thing, because you got many false prophets and ill authors out there writing stuff, man, from their own minds, making up stuff and saying it, just like the people who the Hadithites, man, they go on saying things about the Hadith so much, meaning the so-called sayings and practices and actions of Prophet Muhammad, so much so that they forget the Holy Quran. And when they start quoting the Holy Quran, they mix those books up with the Holy Quran. And that's a great evil, because right in the Holy Quran in the beginning, Allah said, raise no book up with it.
Right.
And they raise books up with the Holy Quran, and they send that stuff out like it's one message from the Lord from Allah, when it's not.
And just like people tell me, you know, flipping it on the Christians, I had so many people say, I read the Bible, but I can't fully understand it, but I'm going to keep reading it because the Lord is going to translate it to me. And I'm telling you, the person that told me this has been reading the Bible for 23 years. If you ain't understood it yet, you got to stop.
You got to make a change.
You got to say, okay.
What's going on?
Because why would Ahezaah send you something so difficult?
Yeah.
You understand? Why you trying to say Ahezaah trying to trip you up in life?
Well, what they say in Christianity is you got to have faith. Now, I know you have a lot of faith-based people who really have faith in that, and they are steadfast. And they are told to be steadfast. And they stay steadfast until they die. They still be steadfast in error. But they have faith in that error.
And
and that becomes their religion. And they be happy with it. But that's why we as educators and callers for the Lord, we are not trying to force any word on anybody, because some people are shaken in their lives. Some people are really bad off in their way of religion, in their way of life. But they will be even worse off if you break them away at the wrong time with truth. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Someone would just go ultimately out off the limb, man. You know? So, as a servant of the Lord true servants of the Lord you'll never find them trying to force the Lord's words on you.
Right.
They will recite those words with humility and humbleness, because they know that those words are greater than them. The spirit of those words are greater than them. The reality of those words are greater than them. So they will humble themselves down under those words, meaning they will stand under those words of the Lord and recite those words the best they can to you. And they will not be so fast to recite without making sure that they are correct in what they're saying. That's why we in spirituality know that we need to seek the Lord in everything we do, at every moment, in every stretch of the way. You know, not sometimes like people say, well, you know, when I need the Lord, I call on the Lord. Did you hear that? Huh? When I need the Lord, I call on. Oh, that passed you,
on those occasions.
He was in some holy place.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Some house of worship somewhere.
I missed the wind part.
I've heard the minister say that many times. Many times. And when I need the Lord, I call on the Lord too.
As if you don't need the Lord all the time.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely at all times. There's no break in your life when you don't need the Lord.
Truly.
Yeah.
No break. No break at all, man. When you exhale and when you inhale and in between.
Yeah. Spirituality. The reality. Spirit.
Yes.
Yes.
You know?
Small part of the reality that's behind everything.
There you go.
That our experiences, you know.
We all broke up in small parts of the whole, you know, and you know, when you think about man look at himself as the cream of creation, you know. I can't agree with that, because I believe that there are things much greater than man in creation.
Man's been taught that though in those religions.
And taught by what? Other men. Were they holy men that taught them that they were the cream, that they were the best of creation? Huh?
Well, the people...
I've never seen it in the holy book of Allah that man is the cream of creation. I've seen that man is vicegerent, a deputy of the Lord to watch over things in creation. But I've also seen that man is worse than the beast. Huh?
The lowest of the low. Yeah.
If you know, it depends on what state of mind you in. But I would never think of myself as the best of creation when I know I have complete need of the Lord El.
Right.
And when I know that the Lord El has created angels greater than myself. I can't X out anything of the Lord. You got men running around here saying there's aliens going about in the earth and over the earth and in the waters and what have you, that they can't comprehend. They can't master them, because if they could master them, you better believe that you'd have a country full of slave aliens. And I'm not talking about Mexicans or Africans or
extraterrestrial.
I'm talking about extraterrestrial slaves.
Yes.
A lot of ETs.
A lot of ETs.
ET, go get the car. ET.
ETs be like, blip, 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 blip. You translate it. I ain't no cotton picking nigga.
For those that are in the position, they hide the fact that these ETs existed. They came that they existed.
Yeah, because they must
don't
do
want,
that.
right.
They must do that. They must make men, common people, think that they are the greatest. Because if they don't make the common people think that they are the gods of the world, then how can they control the society? Huh? She and I was riding down the street, and I shouldn't say this, but
we're gonna do this on Urban
She recognized all the spiritual houses, the so-called spiritual houses coming down from down Newark in 14th Avenue. 14th Avenue, right? And South Palm Avenue, 14th. She counted so many of them, man, that I was like taken. You know, we have so many churches on the streets, man. I said, well, you know, the thing about it is that this was devised to control the people. That's why you have ministers of the society raised up by the government of society and given that elevation, because they are servants of the society, servants of the government before they are servants of the Lord Most High. They are servants of the government to control, contain, and keep the people from becoming excited or upset about what's really going down in life. subduers.
Remember the cynical joke about in the neighborhood when you talk about you either have a church or a liquor store, church or liquor store, whatever it is to take the people's minds away, either one in one way of the world or one in the other way of taking them on what they think is a
Both
path.
of them are intoxicating.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, when you get intoxicated with either one, then you subdued. You know?
Distracted from the real, distracted from not even in the state of mind of recognizing Ahezaah in all things.
Well, you actually distracted from reasoning and not common sense, but you be taken down. Common sense is taken down so far, but you distracted from reasoning. You look at the people who marched and let dogs bite on them and be hoes, and they know what was gonna happen, gets killed and for freedom. You know, and then because there was another kind of people in this society that said, we're not standing for that and we're going to educate our own people. We're going to make sure they educate. Then the ones who was doing that, their leaders said, hey, wait a minute, we got to choose one or the other. So let's make those that who are more submissive to us, let's give them what they want. All they want to do is be able to go to the bathrooms we go to, drink out of the fountains we drink out of, eat in the restaurants we eat out. Let's give them that, and let's give them education. Let's make them the great subduers of their people.
Thinking that they had advanced, and with that, Lord Holy-Apostle, with Holy Queen Mother, we will return to our audience again next week.
Want to do things right.
Write to us.
To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you